Hello, welcome to my MenoMusings. My name is Mary Howard Leppo, and I am a integrative nutrition health coach specializing in perimenopause and menopause. And today I want to talk to you about cortisol, which is something that in recent years has really started taking off. People are paying a lot more attention to it as far as how it interacts with the body, contributes to different health issues, becomes a side effect of some health issues, those kinds of things. So, that being said, in perimenopause, you can have an increased amount or kind of erratic levels of cortisol due to declining estrogen and other hormones. And so then when that happens, that spike drives symptoms, like the weight gain, especially the belly weight. It can lead to insomnia, so some sleep issues, anxiety, tiredness, because when you're stressed and you're kind of go, you just, get fatigued, and including also brain fog. So as I've discussed in other videos, managing that really comes from lifestyle changes. So that's going to be prioritizing your sleep, making sure that you got a good routine, good sleep hygiene, stress reduction techniques, and gentle exercise. So doing a little bit of a deeper dive here. We talked about the weight gain. That can promote belly fat storage and slow down the metabolism. The sleep disturbances. So a lot of women that wake up around like the 2 or 3 o'clock hour and they're tired, but they're wired. They just can't go back to sleep. It's like, hello. That might be an issue of cortisol. So it's really, really important then to get that under control. Mood changes, of course, if we're not sleeping well or we're really stressed out, we're going to be a little bit more irritable. So kind of like that short fuse. Sometimes we're going to be a little bit more anxious, and sometimes that can lead to depression, especially as the estrogen levels fall. Reduced resilience. So your body's ability to be able to naturally manage stress will go down. So sometimes that can also lead to illness because it'll decrease your immune system function. It can also make cortisol levels kind of like higher and less easier to kind of turn off, if you will. And then, of course, it can worsen menopausal symptoms. As we know, as we've talked about on previous videos, stress responses can be a trigger for hot flashes. So getting your stress under control really does matter. And then, of course, we also know that high levels of stress correlates with gut health issues too. So there's that. So what do? We want to prioritize our sleep. So for me personally, I have a very regimented sleep routine, and that helps my nervous system say, okay, we're getting ready to bed. So I'm going to kind of start to come down a little bit. Something that I recently added into that I really, really like, and I will probably butcher this word. I should have looked this up before I made this video, but the binaural beats that are kind of slower, so many beats per minute. They do help promote sleep. They promote the calming of the nervous system and can help reduce cortisol. So that's something that I've added in recently that I really, really like. And then, of course, you want a cool, dark room. My husband does not always turn the front of his cell phone over. So that blue light, when it comes on with all of his notifications, will actually wake me up because it lights up the whole room. So I combated that. That was a battle that I just could not win. I wear an eye mask to sleep. And so now my body and mind thinks it's always totally dark. And then that is never a problem. So something there. You want to exercise wisely. So you do want to do your strength training, slow, controlled weight training or strength training, yoga. I would say from a yoga perspective, that's going to be more things like yin yoga or your restorative yoga, slower flow yoga. It's not going to be something that's very, very rigorous, like a power vinyasa flow or something from the Ashtanga tradition. So you want to be mindful of the type of yoga that you're incorporating if you're trying to reduce your stress. And you want to, walking is a great way to relieve stress. You want to avoid overtraining, and you want to avoid those really intense workouts. So while yes, HIIT training can be great for some women. It's a high impact workout in a short amount of time. If you've got a lot of stress going on and you've got cortisol kind of through the roof, that's going to make it worse. That's going to increase your cortisol and keep it high. So be mindful of the type of exercise that you're doing if you're trying to combat that. And dietary adjustments for sure. You want to reduce the sugar. You want to reduce your caffeine. You want to eat regularly, making sure you get enough protein, a lot of fiber in the diet, keep your blood sugar levels even. And your healthy fats. So your good omega-3s. And of course, we've talked about stress management. So in addition to other things we've talked about, good breath work, just like taking a breath, taking a minute to just breathe, close your eyes and breathe, can be a wonderful thing to do. And there might be some supplements or HRT that might be appropriate for you. So I just did an entire 3-part series on different supplements. You can take a look at those. Specifically, that's going to be things like ashwagandha, magnesium, L-theanine can all help with stress. And then, of course, hormone replacement therapy, because if the reason that your cortisol is high is because of declining estrogen, then you can supplement that with hormone replacement therapy. Now, I do want to say this, if you're like, well, I can't take hormone replacement therapy, I've got a clotting issue in my blood, so, that raises the risk and I can't take that. What you're going to do then is you're going to focus on your foods that have a good amount of phytoestrogens in it. So you're going to get your estrogens from your diet, from plants, and that's going to be heavy on, your dark leafy greens, your cruciferous vegetables, some berries, some fruits are high in phytoestrogens. So that's how you would kind of help combat that as well. I will actually talk about estrogen in another future video, but I hope that this video was helpful in terms of kind of what cortisol is, what it causes, and how you can manage it, because it really, really is important. And it's kind of one of those things where when I'm working with a client, if they're telling me they're really, really stressed, we'll work on stress management techniques first before we even touch nutrition. Because if you don't have that under control, none of the other stuff is really going to matter or really going to work as well. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you have a stress management technique that is helpful, I would love for you to share it below. You can also drop me a line and I can share it for you. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay healthy.